welcome to Living Arts. I'm your host, Jackie Suarez. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight we have our first repeat guest. Her name is Natalie Forteza, singer, songwriter, musician. Welcome to the show, Natalie. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, it's been like a year since we last spoke, and I was just thrilled to have you, back on the show because you really blew everybody away when you came and performed.
Oh, thank you.
So we're all big fans, and just tell us, what you've been up to since we last spoke.
Well, it was really inspiring to be here. Aki, being one of the four members of our band, including myself, he plays keys, and he also assists me in writing songs, and it was certainly a moment for us to use it as inspiration to write our own original music, which is what we've been trying to accomplish for a long time. So myself, Aki, and the two other members, Eric Perez, who plays drums, and Anthony Candula, who plays bass. We've been able to spend some time together over the past year and really try to hone in writing together. And being a part of this was certainly part of that inspiration.
Well, I'm glad. Your performance was awesome. I went to go see you, too, at 12 Grapes at some point over the summer, I want to say. Not over the summer. I guess it would have been the fall.
Yes, yeah.
In the fall. And it was that's a nice venue for you. It's just kind of intimate, and it was just very nice. Now, as far as developing your sound, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's been difficult to try and express to people what you're trying to go for. People want to know what you sound like. Okay, what kind of artist are you trying to be? And you can only really use examples of other people. Like you were so kind to use like Erykah Badu and Sade and those are obviously people I aspire to be, but you want to have your own sound. You want to be able to express that. And unless you have something to show for it, you're kind of on the coattails of other people, just trying to explain to people what you're going for. So us being able to play together has helped us to kind of galvanize as a band, know. And then when it comes to the writing process, we take all of our likes and say, okay, well, we like this and we like that, and let's try and put these two things together, and how about that, and take away this, and it's really kind of, it's almost like cooking. You're trying to come up with the right recipe,
Exactly.
And you just take all these ingredients and needs less salt, more sugar, less sugar, and you're just trying to find that perfect recipe, basically.
So do you think now you've kind of got the right combination? Because I'm assuming everyone comes to the party, I guess, with their own style of playing and what kind of music they like.
Yeah.
I guess it's important to kind of get on the same page with everyone.
Yeah. I mean, naturally, we have common denominators. Like, we all like organic music, we gravitate to particular sounds, but we're all different. Obviously, we're four different individuals, so we do bring something different, and then it's a good thing because it challenges each other and say, well, I've never really thought of that, so you can consider it, and sometimes you either don't use something or you try something you never did before, and that's been advice that people have said to me time and time again. You have to try things you haven't tried before. But if you're on your own, you don't really get to try those things. But if you introduce other people to a situation, then you're just naturally going to be exposed to that.
Right.
And these are three gentlemen who have their own experiences. And then I have my experiences, just life experience. And that's kind of part of the mixture and the combination of things, too. So over the past year, we've been able to not only personally and musically and creatively be able to do that, to be able to finally accomplish a concept, and I think we're arriving to step one.
Okay, so I guess this forming your sound or being able to say to a venue or something, well, this is what we sound like, that's where it would be really helpful to do that, right?
Yeah.
So you can be like, well, we're this now, or we sound like this.
Yeah.
And also, the first collaboration with the band has been Slow Burn, which I had a chance to listen to. Another great, great tune. It's just something about it that I like. It's almost hypnotic in a way.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely be playing that in my car as soon as I can as soon as I can figure out how to get it onto a CD. I'm so behind the times technologically. I just can't get it together. So when you sent it to me, I was like, well, this is nice. What am I supposed to do with this? But please tell us about Slow Burn and how you got that together.
Well, it's interesting because Slow Burn is obviously the title and the song, but it's kind of close to our mantra as well, that with a kind of sound that doesn't really hit you in the face. You know, it just kind of burns away, and before you know it, you're kind of in it and can't get away from it. And that's kind of the music I've always listened to. You know, just it kind of, it's almost hypnotizing. You know, so that's what we kind of hope. I mean, unconsciously, I think it just kind of happens that way. But you know, so it was just an idea that started, and we tried a few different things, and the four of us really sat in a room together and just worked it out. You know.
So who wrote the song?
I wrote the idea, or the concept, you know, the lyric idea, and then between the four of us, we figured out the music. I had a feeling of how I wanted it to feel, but then it took a few different versions before we actually came around to what it ended up being. So it was really an equal collaboration between the four of us.
It's so interesting, you know, because I guess with your fledgling group, just being able to see the progress that you've made over this past year. And I'm just curious about the details of it sometimes, because it's like I know that just getting into a studio and how you work out all these various things. So what was that like for you, or where did you actually record this?
We actually recorded the 3 songs I had shared with you in Bronxville at the Loft Recording Studios, which is run by Al Hamburger, who is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And he made the experience really exceptional for all of us. Wow. It's just a warm environment, and he's a big fan of organic music and capturing live sound, and his experience just in the recording process, like everything was crisp, and you know the way he was able to capture everything.
So was he more of a hands-on type engineer, or was he guiding your music? Did you guys already have something pretty much the way that you wanted it to sound before you got there?
We did, yeah. We've been playing these songs with the exception of the ballad I had sent you. We've been playing them for a while now, so they've taken a life of their own. But of course, anytime you bring it into the studio, it just increases the life or the persona of this particular song. And to hear certain parts, the way he was able to mic all the drums, and the way he was able to mic take levels on the keys and bass, and how everything had its own place in the song, just creates a different kind of atmosphere than it would be if it was live. So it was nice for us to sit back and hear all the characters in this one particular story. And Al's experience and just persona, he's the type of person where he knows what he's doing, you leave him to his craft, and he will interject. You know, he leaves you to your craft as well. Okay. You know, so it's a perfect relationship. You know, it's a really nurturing atmosphere, and I recommend anybody to go and work there. Yeah, it's just a great space, and you know, you see all the records on the wall, and you know.
Who else has he worked with?
Rihanna's his
really?
Yeah, Rihanna's on his list. And
so how did you get hooked up with him?
Al Hamburger from Cold Spring, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which Cold Spring seems to be the water cooler for lots of musicians in the area. You just end up finding each other. And I know Al for several years, actually, and we've had a few conversations over the past few years, and just asking me, you know, how do I get from point A to point B? And, you know, okay, now I'm here, so now what do I do? You know, because there's no manual, you know, and everybody's situation is different. And he always offered me sound advice. And then having played with the guys for the past year and working on some ideas, I really wanted to get them down now that they have a life. And I just made a phone call and talked to him and see how he felt about it. And he said, of course, come on down. And I knew it was going to be a great experience, but he took it from great to exceptional.
Well, you kind of intimidated? Was this like your first recording studio experience?
At that level, yeah. And luckily, because I have a relationship with Al, it wasn't as daunting, you know. And like I said, just the atmosphere of the actual studio makes you feel like you're home. You know?
That's key.
Yeah, and it was just us. You know, it's just the band and him. You know, so you really felt comfortable, and it was a great experience.
So what would be next for you guys, as far as, because you have a couple of songs. I thought this might be, you're going to be putting these, kind of stockpiling them for a CD, and you mentioned something about them being was it LP?
An EP, yeah. We're working towards an EP, and these are, you know, ideas to put towards that, but we definitely have to write more and come up with a few more songs.
I think you need to shoot a video.
We'll do that too. We'll do that too. I mean, now it's just necessary. It's just part of, this work now. But I really, really want to get some more songs done. But there'll be some.
So how does that compare to, I guess, your performances, the studio experience? Because some people prefer performing live as to, doing work in the studio.
I love both. I love the hands-on of the interaction between an audience and performing, and the artist, the performer, because you need each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're obviously there to see you, but you also need them.
Right, to get that feedback.
Yeah, and there's this, it pushes you to the next level. Like, you have to get a reaction out of them. So because you're physically in front of them, you have to express yourself in a completely different way.
Are you acting as the manager for your group? Is that also another hat you're wearing?
I mean, I guess so. I guess coordinator, I guess, would be it.
Are you the one that actually gets in touch with the various venues and tries to book some time or book a date?
I mean,
okay.
the guys certainly, wherever they have a contact, they always, try and hook it up. But on the computer, making phone calls, doing what we need to do just to kind of get out there.
Absolutely. So time-wise, do you find that it's difficult to coordinate with all four of you?
It is.
Is that one of the obstacles you're facing?
Yeah, because it would be ideal if we had nothing else to do but spend time with each other and write and come up with brilliant ideas, and hit songs.
Have all three of them move in with you.
Yeah, well, we could do that. We just rent a big house, and just move in together. But so yeah, you have four individuals who have home lives, who have jobs, and trying to make rent, and also have other goals, they can't only just do this, So it is difficult, but the fortunate thing is that there's three considerate, dedicated, professionals, and good friends. So I know that no matter what the time is apart, when we're working together, we're working together, and I think that's what this whole year has been about, is getting to know each other and building these connections with each other. And I think it's starting to communicate itself through the music, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome that you were able to, block up these few songs. And now, as far as the writing process also, when you say that you kind of have a concept of what the song is going to be, explain that to me. I mean, are you actually writing things line for line, or are you just kind of throwing out the idea of what you want the song to be about?
It depends on the situation. It's songwriting is extremely difficult.
You can tell I don't know anything about it, right?
No.
You're going to start from the beginning with me. Explain it like I'm 5.
Believe it, because I'm learning as we speak. Because with every situation, it's different, and it's a labor of love for me, and I truly, truly do respect those who make a living as songwriters, and who are musicians and artists and songwriters, because it's amazing how they come up with these lyrics and stories and melodies and stuff, because it's really, really hard to do, and I can understand why people stop doing it, because it really takes every molecule in your body, well, at least I can speak for myself, to try and get from a concept to the end of the song. And it can come from anywhere. It can come from just a word that somebody says. It can be a phrase. It can be a saying. What I've been trying to do is start with a title and then figure out how do I want this to feel like, and we have lots of groove ideas. I say we, meaning the band. I heard this, or I played this, bass line or a keyboard line, or some kind of groove, and we'll try and see what ideas we can marry together and see what kind of works. And it's really experimentation. It's like being in a lab. Same thing, like with like cooking, like I said.
Yeah, I like that analogy because it is kind of like cooking.
Yeah, and you hope that you come up with something good
Something
in
that
the
tastes
end.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were also taking voice lessons when we last spoke. So tell me about that journey and how that's been working for you.
That was amazing. That was one of the best things I did in the past year. I think it's important that our craft is never done. And no matter what you do, you have to continue to sharpen your skills. And I still feel like I'm the new kid on the block in every aspect of this. And I think it takes other people sometimes to help reveal things about yourself so you become a better version of yourself. And that was my experience with Sharon Bryant.
Is she a vocal coach?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And I had to work with her last year. And I have discovered how all those exercises have come into play.
Wow.
Because like we were speaking before, you don't think of the voice as an instrument. Sometimes I have a hard time calling myself a musician because I don't have a physical instrument, or haven't gone to school for music, or do I know music theory all that well. But people have said to me, no, you are a musician. You are your own instrument. Your voice is your instrument. And you really have to learn how to use that. And working with Sharon really allowed me to do that and discover different areas of my voice and my instrument. And that was an incredible discovery, and that's a big part of writing stories, is how you deliver that. If you think about how you read a book, how you dictate a book creates a different kind of world than if you were just to kind of just go along and read it. So what she was teaching me in our lessons together helped.
So you mean like kind of like, just going back to the book analogy, the kind of your inflections as you're reading to someone.
Right, right, and becoming a character.
Right.
And that was really, really important.
It's interesting. So where are you now with that? Do you continue to take lessons, or are you taking a break from that and just performing?
Yeah, I've taken a little bit of break, and I wanted to spend some time with the guys writing, and now we've been performing for a little while now, and I'd like to go back to it at some point. Yeah.
You've popped up in a couple of new venues, so why don't you tell me about your life out on the streets of Westchester?
Well, we
That didn't even sound right. Performing in clubs.
It's not that kind of job.
Yeah, right.
But 12 Grapes, like you mentioned, is a favorite. We love going to 12 Grapes here in Peekskill, and we played in Larchmont at Watercolor Cafe, which has a long history and long list of performers there. So it was nice to add that to our repertoire.
What's it like in there? I've never been there. I've always wanted to kind of go down there.
Watercolors is a very small, intimate restaurant, basically. But they have this little nook, this little almost like bay window where they put their live music, and it has a great atmosphere. The sound is great in there. The acoustics in there is wonderful, and you really do feel close to your audience. It's a different experience than if you're on a stage.
And your audience is like,
at a different level. This is like I'm just as close to you.
It's got that coffee shop feeling.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's
I always
definitely
compare it
laid
in my mind to like MTV Unplugged.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it's definitely a more intimate experience, and it can be more acoustic and a little more laid back. So it allows us to tell stories and joke around, so it's also a great place to try some material out. One of the songs we ended up recording, we actually tried out there, and it was because of that particular performance, it encouraged us to record it. Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me about that. I'll let you explain.
Well, Not Alone was, I kind of started from like a personal story, and I wanted to write a ballad, and I approached Aki about it, and the title took, it was at least 10 different names, and it took a long time to try to arrive to this kind of story, and I was just kind of taken back by the idea that are all obviously individuals and, here on earth, but yet we still have the same human nature. We still go through things. We still have the same joys. We have the same sorrows. And, I try to take a big idea and just really simplify it as to something that, we're not alone. You go through something, I go through something, but we're not alone. You don't have to feel like you're the only person who's going through this. So that's kind of where that came from.
Well, that's a huge concept because, there's, and I've been, I guess, just noticing this over the past couple of years, there's a whole lot of suffering going on in this world. And a lot of people, I guess it seems to be coming to some, I want to say plateau universally, where I believe that things will eventually get better and people are kind of having to go through what's happening now in the world.
Yeah.
That was just my take on it, but that's what it came to mind when I was listening to it.
Oh, okay.
So I'll write a little blurb under. Are you going to promote these on iTunes, or is that something you're thinking about?
Not yet. I'm in one of these moments where, like, I don't know what to do now, because you wait all this time to finally arrive, and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do now. But like I said, we definitely want to work towards an EP, and we do want to promote these new ideas because we want to see how people react to them. But I'm definitely using Slow Burn as a catalyst, yeah, and definitely promoting it. We have a performance coming up, and encourage people to buy their tickets in advance, and they get a free download of it, and they can check it out and see how they like it. And when the time is right, we'll do the iTunes thing, and we'll finally get our EP together. But
yeah, I was speaking to someone, a previous guest. Her name is Michelle DeAngelis, and she just mentioned to me, because she's fairly new to the business as well, and she'd gotten a video together and put this one song on iTunes. And it's not for any big, huge financial gain or anything like that. Basically it was so that you could share your music with a larger audience. And it was working out for her, and I just thought that was kind of cool. Like, you don't have to have a whole lot of music available for someone or for iTunes. You could just have these one or two and kind of get your feet wet and be like, kind of throw it out as like a little feeler.
yeah.
It's like, stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah. And what's nice about that is that I think in the past, a lot of artists had to wait till they had like an album's worth of material.
Right, exactly.
But now, like you said, you don't have to do that anymore. And now, even other than iTunes, which is a great bar I'd like to finally arrive to, but there are so many other companies now that realize that there are artists who are still developing,
Right.
and it costs money to put music out there. And for instance, I'm using Bandcamp to do this.
What's Bandcamp?
Bandcamp is a website that allows people to sell music, almost like CD Baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but their fees are really, really reasonable, and they allow me to give away songs like I can with this song.
Okay.
And it's really user-friendly, and it's just a great medium of getting music out there as well.
Yeah, I'll have to definitely take a look at that. iTunes just totally changed my music library, so to speak. Because it's just a little easier than having to go out and get the CD itself. And, truth be told, there's only a few of the songs on there that you're really going to like. But I think somehow when us doing that, or the consumer doing that, has kind of taken away from the concept of the album. Because you're not hearing it in its entirety, and you're not getting the full picture. Perhaps you don't want the full picture, but
Right.
but that wasn't how it was meant to be listened to. It's just my thought. So
Yeah.
you were saying that you're going to be performing at the winery in Mohegan Lake.
Yes. Yeah.
So is that one of your favorite places to perform?
It is. I have a few favorites. I love 12 Grapes, and it feels well. It has that Soho underground kind of feel, which is one kind of atmosphere. And the winery is another one. It has an elevated stage, and you have the high ceilings, and just the history of the building. It's a 100-year-old building.
Wow.
So it just presents a different atmosphere, and it changes our demeanor. When we play there, it's a different feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's like you've arrived, or it's just a more happening feeling.
it makes you feel like, okay, you have to step it up.
Yeah.
We just prepare differently. So, which is a good thing. I always look forward to playing there.
So when are you going to be there?
I will be there Wednesday, May 1st.
Okay, so why don't you tell our audience, because it's time to kind of wrap it up, tell them, how to get in touch with you for bookings, or you're going to be at the winery next, but basically your website is?
NatalieForteza.com, and everything's on there. You can check out the recordings that we did.
Okay.
There's some samples on there. You can watch video, And our dates are on there. You can email me.
And she will get back to you.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for coming back to the show.
Well, thank you for having
I'm
me
looking
again.
forward to seeing you at the winery and just following your career. You know, I feel like I have them on the inside track. I have this secret that, you know, not a lot of people know about. So thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
And to the Living Arts audience, we want to thank you for tuning in again. Please visit us at our Facebook page, like us, and check out our old episodes on YouTube, Living Arts in Westchester. And we're going to wrap it up. Thanks. Have a great night. Peace.
You